Shalom, shalom Israel. First and foremost, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto YAHAWASHI, double honors to the elders and apostles, great millstone. Shalom to somebody Akim Walking who are diligently waiting to be delivered from this dark captivity, as well as the speckled bird that may look like the other nations, but are actually Yasharala. This is Brother Kobakov coming at you with another lesson. Today's lesson, or first off, Genesis chapter 20, verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, no, verse 38, Slakia. And Esau said unto his father, Hast thou but one blessing, my father? Bless me, even me also, O my father. And Esau lifted up his voice and wept. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be a fatness of the earth, and the dew of heaven from above, and by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass that when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck. So basically, the thing here is this is how Esau would live his life. Basically, Esau. So first of all, I went so that we know that this is definitely Esau that we're talking about. Isaac blessed Esau. Now over here in verse 40, it says, "By that sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother." Okay, so obviously he's not serving his brother, but all right. The thing here is, well, he's not serving his brother yet. But the main thing here is, it says that by thy sword shalt thou live. Now, the thing here, the thing to remember is that Esau is actually one of the greatest war nations of war compared to all these other nations. Esau, basically, if you know anything about American history, what happened was that in I forgot. I'm trying to think of the term, the proper term. During the for early stages of not necessarily America, but the 13 colonies in America. All right. What happened? What happened was that the Edomites that were there, they were or the so-called white people, Europeans, whatever. They basically were under the control of Great Britain, and at, and as time went on, they were saying like, "Oh man, taxes this, taxes that, whatever." And then they did. They basically said, "Okay, well, we don't want to be under the subjugation of Britain anymore. So what we're going to do, um, we're going to break away from them." So basically, what happened was that they were a not non-established nation of the 13 colonized nation. They were basically colonies, and um, they were going against an actual established nation, which is Britain. Britain was already established. They had all the power and stuff like that, and it was basically some regular, people going against regular people, quote unquote, going against actually established, like an actual established military, basically. All right. So that's number one. Number two, Esau, I mean not Esau, yes Esau, but Babylon or America has never lost any war. Let me actually just quickly Google search that. Has America? I'm not gonna lie, I think that's kind of weird that that shit was there. Either um that was either the internet is listening to my words or something. I don't know. But anyway, it says, has the U.S. lost a war? The United States has engaged in several wars that resulted in minimal gain or outright loss. That's not what I meant, and they know it. So hold on. Basically, it said, I'm trying to find, has ever lost a war, lost a major war. Sure, whatever. I don't give a fuck. Has engaged in several wars. Alright, I'm not. They know what I'm talking about. Alright, where? You know, let me just ask ChatGPT. ChatGPT. Has America ever lost a war? And they said, short answer, yes, depending on the fine for, of course, semantics, and that's I hate, I genuinely hate this because they're always going to try to play some stupid ass semantical game. They will say that we lost this, or we lost this, we lost that, whatever. But Vietnam War, the U.S. withdrew, took over the Vietnam War. That's not what I fucking meant. They know. Okay. I mean, where they were clearly defeated, not retreated.
What he said he wanted them to do. Does that make any sense? No. Maybe I need to have a whole post on that and break it down for y'all. Break it down if y'all want me to break that down further in another.
Wait. It says the U.S. has never surrendered as a nation, never been conquered, and never had its core military destroyed in war. So basically, what they've said is that they consider, withdrawal, like, okay, well, we're not winning from doing this, so instead we're just going to make a strategic withdrawal or whatever, because like this is not getting us anywhere. But my original statement still stands, where they never surrendered as a nation, number one. Number two, they've never been conquered. And number three, never had its core military destroyed in war. So that's what I was trying to say. But okay, sure, if you want to say that they've never, that they have technically lost, or had a loss certain in certain wars, okay, sure, I'll give them that. All right. Which is kind of ironic given the statement, but wait, so yeah, and then the only war was the Vietnam War and stuff like that. So continuing on, let me continue on to get back into this. Basically, not Esau, yes, Esau, but Babylon or America has been and is still widely considered from many nations to be a major superpower, and people, or it's like not people, other nations are definitely afraid to engage in war, in an actual like combat full war in them, because they know that, okay, what, this is not going to end well with us, especially with these freaking cheating ass devils. But anyway, well, whatever, to that cheating comment, you can I can rescind that. That's a semantic. I guess one can say that there's not really any cheating in war, so who cares? I take that back. But next, I want to go into the next thing. Genesis chapter 36, verse 8. Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir. Esau is Edom. Quickly, I just want to set the record straight here, because I want to show that, okay, so Esau dwells in Mount Seir. This is important for the next precept that I'm going to show. So let's go to Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 2. Verse 2, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir, and prophesy against it, and say unto it, Thus saith the Lord Yahawah, Behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out my hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, and thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. Basically, the thing here is that YAHAWASHI told Yahawadah basically said, that these people, the Edomites, as we just established that Mount Seir is the land of the Edomites, the land of the Edomites, and as a result of that, the Lord is prophesying against the Edomites. All right, and as a result of that, we also establish in verse 5, where it says that thou hast had a perpetual hatred towards the Israelites. Okay, so Esau has a perpetual hatred, just as we saw in the thing where in where is it in over here, verse 41, and Esau hated Jacob because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand, then I will slay my brother Jacob. Basically, he had this he has had this hatred for the longest time, and even now Esau still to kill wants to kill us, which we see that through the spirit in how Esau treats Jake, in everyday situation where, oh, let's call the police on Jake because that's our pastime, or let's bother Jake, this, and the third, whatever, and all that bullshit, stuff like that. All right. Next, one major thing I kind of think is very important. All right, there's two things left, but let's go for this one first. Hebrews 12, verse 16, lest there be any fornicator or profane person as Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright. Where over here we have that we see that Esau is the most profane fornicator, the most wicked. Now, do you know? Let's look at. I'm not going to say you do know. Let me correct myself and say the most profane person. Profane. The word definition of the word profane, relating or devoted to that which is not sacred or biblical, secular rather than religious. Now, you might be saying, well, but Christianity is a major religion in America and all that stuff. Well, sure, yes, that is true, but do you understand that when it comes to Christianity, there isn't really anything, what's it called, sacred or biblical to it. They might go to church, sure. They might say, oh yeah, I pray and whatnot. But did you know that number one, the amount of people that pray regularly has actually plummeted. That's number one. Number two, um, there is no actual discipline in the religion of Christianity. There's discipline in um, I keep on forgetting what's the name. Islam. There's discipline in us as Israelites, remembering our heritage. There's discipline in Buddhism and all those other stuff. I think. Keyword. I think. Let me actually see. I could be. I'm gonna correct myself if I'm wrong about that. Um, it was does Buddhism have this?
So the bloodline is accountable for the history, but the spirit is accountable for the behavior.
So okay, apparently yes.
See that pattern as well.
So yeah, there is some discipline in it, and while there is a wide array of different religions from in different countries. All right. The thing about Esau is that Esau is the most secular. He's the most one. He's the one that um, abstains from discipline more than any other nations. And you know, it's, I'm trying to really like think of a example, but I'm failing about it because I don't have that much knowledge on these other things. But just in general, like there's Buddhism, there's all these other stuff, Hinduism, Islam, as we said, Native America, Africa, and all these different stuff. Africa actually has Christianity and Islam. So yeah, like there's some discipline in these different nations, but for the most part, just Slocky, for the most part, trying to get through this. But Esau is the most profane, and he's the most evil, the most wicked, the one that always goes to like, how do we find how do we get to being worse than what we were yesterday? How do we take things to the next level, basically? All right, and that's basically how Esau operates. He's never satisfied with what he currently has, and even then, when you actually think about it, who was the one that expanded on this whole trying to think, what's it called, um alphabet stuff. All right, Esau's the one that pushed that out, and made the other nation to say, you know what, I want that, I want some of that as well, or not necessarily other nation, but yes, the people, inhabitants of the other nations as well. And let me also think, what was it? Oh yeah, the nations. Jeremiah 51, verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in the Lord's hand that made all the earth drunken, and the nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. Basically, the thing here is how the other nations have drunken of the wine, which is the doctrine of Esau, Edom, and they've been growing and being wicked as a result. All right. So finally, let's get this. Obadiah chapter 1, verse. Let's just start with verse 1. The visions of Obadiah, thus saith the Lord Yahawah concerning Edom. We have heard a rumor of the Lord from the Lord, and an ambassador sent among the heathen. Arise ye, and let us rise up against her in battle. Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Verse 3, the pride of thy heart hath deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock, whose habitation is high, that saith in his heart, who shall bring thee down to the ground. Verse 4, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle, and though thou set thy nest among the stars, thence will I bring thee down, saith the Lord. So over here, you have, in verse 3, it says that Esau is extremely proud. Esau is extremely proud. It says his pride has deceived him. He's thinking that, oh well, no one can take me down. Like I'm the big man on campus, or whatever the fuck the term it's called. And for the most part, no other nation can really go against Esau. And that's just basically reality. And even with DJT and how he's been acting as if, oh, these other nations do nothing to us. We tell them what to do. It's not the other way around. X, Y, and Z, blah, 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 and stuff like that. And that's basically how he's been acting. All right. And then the actual killer. All right. The whatever you want to call it, the critical hit is in verse 4, where it says, though thou exalt thyself as an eagle. Who the fuck exalt? Whose national bird, all right, is that? Let's just Google it. Whose national animal is eagle? The United States uses the bald eagle as its national bird and symbol, adopted in 1782. How does it not get? Did I just close the tab? Oh yeah. So how does it not get more decisive than that? All right. So yeah, basically Esau is in fact um, the so-called white man. So with that, praise system solidifying, I want to give all honor, glory, and praise unto Yahawah, MANASHAH, Bashem, Wakwa, Kodash, double honors to the elders and apostles, the great millstone of Bible, and Shalom.